Over the last 50 years, humanity has entered a new era, one powered by information, connection, and innovation. This is the story of the information age. Imagine today's world without technology. Seems impossible. Everyone is immersed in technology. Every aspect of your life is changed by technology. Every career field is affected by technology. But how did we get here? To truly understand, we have to go back in time to a world without much technology. A world where new advancements are still on the horizon. My name is Julian Cross, and I will be going on a journey of discovery, learning exactly how we got to where we are today with the status of technology. The journey to modern computing begins in the 70s. Most of the resources for computing were being used by America for war. However, some technology leaders found a way to incorporate it into business, boosting productivity throughout America. IBM was a major player in technology industry during the 70s. IBM designed computers to be used in businesses that required large databases, such as airlines, factories, banks, and retail centers.
Most people today wouldn't have really thought that computers existed until the 90s. This is because these computers are primarily used by industries and typically required a massive amount of skill and resources to be usable and cost-effective. One example of these computers were mainframes, primarily produced by IBM. These computers were very large, weighing a total mass of about 30 tons and taking up a total of 2,000 square feet max. People who worked with these computers would interface with them by sending their commands through the use of punch cards, paper tape, and batch processing. Eventually, more efficient methods of speaking to these large computers emerged as businesses required faster and simpler methods to interface with these complex machines.
The first computer considered to be a personal computer emerged in the beginning of the 70s with the Kenback-1 invented by John Blankenbaker, which made use of integrated circuits in order to make computing at the home scale possible. This computer was made before the invention and wide-scale use of microprocessors. Due to this limitation, along with low sales quality and a low amount of money held by the Kenback company, the company quickly folded.
Microprocessors were the tool that allowed for the invention of more powerful and efficient computers. The first microprocessor was designed by electrical engineer Martian Ted Hoff. Hoff later joined Intel, one of the few computer chip producing companies, including AMD and NVIDIA.
The 70s as a whole saw the widespread usage of microprocessors, as with the invention of the microprocessor came the way for the development of single-chip CPUs. The single-chip central processing unit performs one of the core functions of the early computer, ranging from arithmetic to logic to control operations. Ultimately, personal computers were able to be developed because of this innovative discovery of the microprocessor, along with the earlier 1947 discovery of the transistor. It's important to note that the role of the transistor in the development of the first personal computer, as it replaced unreliable vacuum tubes to smaller, more energy-efficient machines for computers. The existence of the transistor allowed for companies to take advantage of the new discovery of the microprocessor, paving the way for the first laptop.
In 1981, the Osborne 1. These laptops were bulky, however, they were a massive advancement from the computers that originally took up entire rooms and buildings. At this point, the internet had already been invented, but it was a very primitive form, as it had a very small user base. Many businesses emerged during the 70s and 80s. However, one of the most unique was Apple, founded by Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs in Jobs' parents' home, located in Los Altos, California.
In a manner of speaking, you could say I was there when the modern computer was created. Here's my perspective. Apple's founders had a vision, making technology more accessible to the general public, through making computers smaller, faster, and easier to use. Jobs and Wozniak aimed to create a computer with significantly higher ease of use compared to the other personal computers that existed during the time. Both founders worked tirelessly to create a computer that would be able to compete with the existing IBM computers and personal computers that had taken over most of the market. They released Apple I, the first Apple computer, which was handmade. This computer was sold as just a base component, and people were required to find the peripherals on their own. As a result, the Apple I received very limited success, forcing Wozniak and Jobs to reconsider their successful computer.
The Apple II was the outcome of a serious reconsideration of the Apple Company. Released in 1977, the primary design by Wozniak, unlike the Apple I, the Apple II came with all of its peripherals. This change was the primary factor that allowed for its success, as millions of units began to be sold all over the world. In the 1970s and 80s, Apple didn't have its own store. The first computer store that started selling Apple products was the Byte Shop, which was the first computer retail shop. This shop was the first of many new shops that appealed to the newly emerging consumer technology population. We will see Apple create more inventions in the years to come, all of which help revolutionize the technology industry in America. Windows and Apple made major contributions to completing the bridge between business and personal computing. The journey to modern computing was greatly expedited by the invention of the World Wide Web by British scientist Tim Berners-Lee in 1989. The World Wide Web was originally envisioned to serve as a system for facilitating information exchange among scientists at different institutions.
It's hard to understate the importance of the discovery of the World Wide Web. Berners-Lee's discovery made it easier to access technical information for anyone, regardless of their expertise. Prior to this discovery, this information was only available to scientists. In addition, online industries like e-commerce, social media, and online entertainment all grew significantly following this discovery, as the World Wide Web allowed for greater global connectivity.
The World Wide Web fundamentally changed how we access, share, and consume information globally. It laid the foundation for a digitally connected world, while also playing a significant role for allowing the spread and gain in popularity of worldwide social change movements, such as the climate change movement. The World Wide Web was not the only discovery from the early 1990s that dramatically changed how we use the internet, though.
The importance of the World Wide Web cannot be understated. But one more thing allowed the information age to rise in the way that it did: the development of search engines. In 1990, the first search engine, called Archie, was developed as a tool to index FTP archives due to the work of Alan and Tosh. This made it easier to locate and download files while also facilitating file sharing.
The impact search engines had on the ability for consumers to easily use technology is immeasurable. Today, we are used to using search engines for daily operations on our laptop. While it is not the original Archie, the legacy of Archie lives on every time we use modern search engines, like Google, Yahoo, or Bing. By the end of the 1990s, technology had received a pretty major place in the personal lives of people. The percentage of American households that had a personal computer more than doubled by the end of the decade. However, one event, a doomsday, notoriously lay at the end of the decade, the beginning of a new century, the 2000s.
The years leading up to 2000 were marked by many otherwise crazy decisions made by Americans, all based on the worry of a massive computer glitch on January 1st, 2000. At this point in time, many nuclear superpowers had a computational aspect to the launching of their nuclear devices, and many people worried that the glitch in computers would have caused accidental nuclear launches. Additionally, people worried about losing their data from their personal computers. This time was known as Y2K, short for year 2000. And the hysteria caused by this event was helpful to some companies, but most of all, very nerve-wracking for people who didn't know what computers were capable of.
No way, bro. I don't even believe it, man. No way. 2000, start of the century? Man, what's going on, bro? What's going on?
Can't be true. These guys don't fix it, bro.
Hi. Welcome to Best Buy.
Hey,
How can we help you guys?
yeah. So many problems, bro.
Are you sure it's good? Behind your laugh, it seems like you're scamming me. Why are you laughing? We're not. Thank you. If it's a scam, though. I'm sure. Not a scam.
As the 1990s were ending, it was clear that we were ready to take it to the next step with regards to the technological innovations. Sure enough, the beginning of the 2000s featured a new turn in the information age, with new innovations changing the way people fundamentally use these technologies. This turn was propelled by the discovery of the Windows XP, as the building blocks for the development of social networking sites just started to get laid.
Oh, I wish I had more friends. I wish I could use my specialty, coding, to get more people like me more friends.
What happened next is history. Zuckerberg got investments from prominent investors like Peter Thiel and was able to tap into previously untapped social networking markets. People across the world use Facebook to connect, and the potential of the internet seemed unlimited. The 50-year evolution of technology has had a massive effect on where we are today.